From turtle, I'm looking to go and do a turtle sweep from here. But Stefan's weight, because of the fact that he's sprawled out, is way out here. His weight being out here is basically a lever to stop me from rolling and turning him in this direction. So if I were to control his wrist and if I were just to fall, his weight is just too far away. So I need to get closer underneath his belt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pike up onto my head and then I'm going to walk as close to Stefan as possible. Now, I am way closer to his center of gravity and thus the leverage that he has because he's so far away is lessened. Remember when Stefan is in a top position like that, he is a wrench and I'm a bolt. And I want to bring that bolt as close to the wrench as possible so that we're almost parallel to each other, and that allows you to be able to go and turn Stefan over. If we can do that again, please. Stefan's a wrench and I'm a bolt. I want to go and get my spine not perpendicular to Stefan, that's what he wants, but parallel to Stefan. So I'm going to trap the wrist, I'm going to fall to my side, and I'm going to get as close to Stefan as possible. So that way my spine is parallel to Stefan's spine, and that's how I'm able to go and win the turnover. From bottom turtle, if I can't turn Stefan over, I can also use my spine as a stick. So the near shoulder, which is my right shoulder, goes to the ground, and then from here, I'm going to be able to go and get my hip in between me and Stefan. And I want to go and support Stefan's weight through my hip, through my spine, into my shoulder. Once I have this, I'm going to drop my hip and then get my knees in front as a proper frame, and then look to attack from my guard. If we can do that again, please, Stefan. From turtle, the near shoulder drops to the ground, my hip elevates, and note how it comes in between me and Stefan. My hip is bolstered by my spine, which is then supported by my shoulder. At my leisure, I'm going to check, drop, note how my hand is that additional frame until my knee comes in, and then my knee is then further supported by my hook so that way Stefan can't run around my guard with immediacy. Stefan has a rear body lock on me. We're both kneeling and I'm in turtle. The idea behind this is that my spine is a stick and it's a lever. I can't lift up my hip because Stefan's just way too heavy, but I can lift up my head. So note how there's absolutely no weight on the upper body, and so I can lift up my head. Once I lift up my head, I can stand up. Once I've stood up, I can then look to break this grip, and then I can go and take Stefan's back as well. So let's do that again, please, Stefan. Stefan has that rear body lock. My spine is a lever. Can't lift up my hip, but I can easily lift up my head. I want to then build up to a knee, and then look to stand up. From here, I can then look to break his grip, and eventually transition into an attack of my own. Fighting from turtle, Stefan has a seatbelt on me, and we're both kneeling. At this stage, of course, I need to be safe and be protective of my neck, but as well, I need to understand the circumstances. My spine is a stick, and thus it can be a lever for Stefan's advantage. There's so much weight onto my upper body that I can't lift up my head, but there's very little weight on my hips, and I can lift up my hip. So once I've lifted up my hip, what I can do is I can look to walk around Stefan, and then I can dump him over, and then from here, now I'm in a top position, I can slowly look to unwind this position and win a more superior position. Can we do that again, please, Stefan? From turtle, Stefan has a seatbelt. I need to stay safe from that choke. I can bring my head down while I bring my hip up. And then walk over Stefan's hips, so that way I can win a more superior position and look to extract my upper body and then win a more superior position from there. Stefan has top turtle. Maybe I shot in for a terrible takedown and he's able to go and sprawl on top of me. I can still fight from here by winning a lever onto his leg. What I want to try and do is I want to go and capture the knee initially, and then I want to start to walk towards the leg. I want to go and keep his leg off the ground. I do that by using my heel, by trapping his ankle, and then I'm able to lift up his leg, driving my head in. But note how his leg is off the ground the entire time. Once I keep his leg off the ground the entire time, it is now a lever for my benefit. Maintaining that pressure on that knee, I can then transition into a top position and then look to attack myself. The key thing to making this work is that I need Stefan's leg off the ground. Stefan's knee on the ground is for his benefit and thus is a frame. If his leg was an extension and then off the ground, note how it's a lever for my advantage. So it's all about transitioning his frame into a lever for me to use. From bottom turtle, I need to go and first win the knee. So I trap his knee and then I encircle it with my hands. I need to perhaps fall onto my side, but that is only so that way I can use my heel to get his ankle off the ground. I build back up, pushing with my head, and note how it's both his knee and his ankle that's off the ground. Continuing to push off of my head, I'm then able to go and then use his leg as a lever, bullying him down and looking to potentially pass his guard. Maybe even winning his back.